Hey everybody, Will Gully with the Recruiting Lounge here, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the truth about NIL. And one challenge that schools are having right now has to do with student athletes getting reached out to from photographers or videographers to do work for them. And basically, the videographers, the photographers are trying to take advantage of the student athletes and produce quality stuff for them, and so that when they go to so that they can get access to the games, which has been happening for a long time now, right? The challenge happens is when you get NIL involved into it. So a school will have photographer, videographer reach out, DM the student athlete and say, hey, can I get credentials? I would love to work with you and shoot some photos. Student athlete sends that to the communications director. Communication director says, you know what, this is photographer or whatever, that's fine, we can credential them. Or the communications director says, hey, let me vet them and see if it's worth it, or see if we have space on the sideline for them. Okay, so they do their job, right? Now, that's part of the process. So step one is, who do you allow to come and shoot on behalf of for the student athlete in this NIL space, right? Because we know that student athletes are hiring people to come and shoot photos for them and videos for them, and it's kind of a slippery slope because those folks generally don't know the rules of engagement in the sports world, on the sideline or in the field. They don't know how to behave or how to work inside that system. So that's a slippery slope, and it's problematic. Actually, a lot of communications, a lot of schools are having trouble kind of reining all that stuff in. UCLA, as a matter of fact, has said we are not going to credential folks like that. Okay, so that's one of the problems that are coming into this world. But back to what I was saying in terms of the NIL thing. What I believe needs to happen, I believe that schools need to have approved vendors for student athletes. Okay, so the NCAA has said that student athletes can pay for photographers, videographers, producers to come and shoot video and of them. They've said it's allowed, right? They don't have anything to do. There's trademark licensing on the side. Student athletes can pay for those services at an equitable rate. They can also pay existing staff on campus to do that. Okay, there's a whole long list of worms, long list right there. That's kind of problematic there. One, what if the student athlete doesn't pay? Then you got an employee potentially suing the school for or suing the student that for the dollars. That's problematic in and of itself. Two, what if that employee is using school time, products, servers, services, equipment, software to do that work, right? Then that's problematic. What if they're they've got to take time off in order to do some side project? Like that's problematic for the organization, right? So there's a laundry list of things that are problematic there. So what I think should happen is I think the schools should be out there sourcing sourcing production organizations and then referring student athletes to those organizations to create content on their behalf. They should have like a list of like 2 or 3 organizations and say, hey, linebacker, you guys are going to do a shoot with the football team at the American Heart Association or whatever. It'd be really good to you to have photos and videos of it yourself and put it up online, or maybe that's part of the NIL agreement. Here's the company you should reach out to go ahead and do that. Okay? They should have a third party that's responsible for doing all that stuff. All right? Employees are, relative to content creation, employees are unable to work with the collective at the institution. Let's say you're a videographer at the University of Nevada in Reno, and the collective is saying, hey, we got some basketball guys that are going to go do a basketball camp down the street. We'd love to have Kim, who we know is a great videographer, go and shoot the camp and produce a video for us. Kim is unable to work with the collective and do that. The school should say, hey, collective, go reach out to this third-party organization, and they will be the ones that you can work with to produce this type of content. Okay? So there's this like little, content issue that's going on right now on campuses across the nation. The collectives need the content, the student athletes need the content, the schools need the content, all of which need it to promote their brand, tell the story of what they're doing in the NIL space. The collectives are needing it to help generate more dollars for all the good that they're doing. The student athletes are needing it so that the collective sees that they're actually the ones that they want to be involved. They've got a good personality. They're the people that we want to work with in the NIL space. The schools want it because they want to be able to say, hey, our collectives and our student athletes are being benefited from NIL opportunities. Our collective is robust and thriving, and potential recruits, just look at what they're doing. Okay, so that's what I think the solution should be. You as a parent, you as a protected student athlete, if your university does not have those types of relationships, it might be beneficial if you're in that type of echelon, if you're that type of person, or you want to really take advantage of your NIL opportunities. It might be advantageous for you to seek out organizations like that, so that when opportunities do come, you're able to say, hey, I've got this partner over here who's really good, and I'd like for them to be involved. And you guys have already have an agreement arranged where they can be compensated for those activities. So that's one problem that's going on, kind of the truth about NIL, things that you don't know. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to answer them. And as always, may your day be filled with moments of grace, mercy, joy, and love. Bye now.